Team, welcome back. We're going to work through a daily flow routine for you, primarily working on the hips. We're going to look at open up these hips and getting a little bit more rotation from these hips. So as always with this session, you're not going to need any equipment at all, just somewhere comfortable to lay or sit down. I'm just going to work away from our back, all the way up into a half kneeling position, all the way finishing up in a standing position, ready for you to go and attack the day, practice, round, or whatever it is you've got planned for the rest of the day. So let's come down to the back to start. And just bring the feet up and just place the hands on the stomach. All I'm going to get you to do to start off with is just take a few breaths here. So we're just going to take the hands onto the stomach, take a full deep breath in and a full deep breath out. Just keep with that breathing, nice full inhales and exhales. We're not going to spend too much time here today because we've got quite a lot to be done on the kneeling position. So all we're going to do just while we're taking those breaths, we're just going to let the knees drop from left to right. So just knees dropping gently from left to right. No need to push this, we just want to kind of get a little bit of movement, get a bit of an understanding of how these are moving today, a little bit of self-evaluation, and just kind of prepare this body to let us kind of let it know that we're coming for it. Lots of hip work being done today, so we're hopefully going to walk away with your hips feeling a lot better. So just dropping from left to right, just to get these warmed. A little bit of self-massage into the glutes as well, a little bit of movement from the lower back. And then when you feel ready, we're just going to roll ourselves all the way up into a half-seated position. And then from our half-seated position, we're just going to turn and get a full turn around and back. Again, we're just preparing this body that we're going to be coming for it now. Take a full deep breath in, full deep breath out. Back round the other way. Rotate, open, full deep breath in, full deep breath out. And then spring yourself around onto all fours, and then finally up into a half kneeling position. Now, we sped through that quite a lot. Normally spend a lot more time down, normally spend a lot more time working here, but we've got a lot of work to be done in this position, so I wanted to get you there quickly so that we don't run over our 10 minutes today. So I've got one leg forward, one leg back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place one hand down on the ground. So I've got left leg forward, right leg back, right hand down. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep walking this leg back until I get a really nice stretch coming to the top of this left glute or top of this left hip and into the front of my right hip. And I should still be able to squeeze my glutes and give a big contraction. But all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start to noodle around, touching forward into these end range positions and touching out. So I'm just kind of moving around into all of these corners. So I've obviously got corners that work forwards. I can work to the side, I can work back, I can work to the other side. But the key here is I'm not going to stop moving. I'm just going to keep moving around, keep touching into all these positions. I should have access to move almost from like a center point all the way out, forwards and in all directions. So I'm just touching forward, touching back. I'm going to spend quite a lot of time here today. It's not one of our normal sessions. A little bit more active. But sometimes we just need to spend a little bit more time opening up these hips. So watch what we're going to do now. We're going to keep the feet in the same position. I've got my left leg forward and I'm going to walk my body round to the right. So I've basically tried to turn my chest and my belly button away from this left knee. I'm going to place both hands back down on the floor now, and I'm now just going to keep moving. So I'm still fidgeting, still noodling around in this position, just touching forward, touching back. Keeping some movement here, dropping forward, dropping back, still moving. Really trying to work up some time in this deep lunge position. Just getting a little bit of rotation done here as well. Again, keep turning away from that leg. And then watch what we're going to do now. Now we're going to spin the other way. And actually now we're going to hug this leg. So I'm going to grab this left leg and I'm going to pull my body around the other way. I'm pulling my body around to the left. And again, I'm just going to start to work on touching into all of these end positions. So really deep stretch coming up into the top of this left glute. Really big stretch going into the front of this right thigh. And I'm just touching into all of these end range positions. And I'm still being active all the way through. I'm not just pulling on these muscles and hoping they make change. I'm actually trying to teach them to move into all these positions and trying to identify all of these areas that I have access to. Just give me a few more minutes here. Oh, sorry, a few more seconds here. Don't worry, we're not going to spend a few more minutes in this one. We're going to do the other leg. Cool. Let's take this leg back. Bring the other leg forward. And again, we're going to start the same process. So we're just dropping this leg down. And remember how we started? We just started with this leg up, hands in neutral position, just touching into this end range. I'm really not a big fan of just spending a lot of time in one deep stretch and yanking on something and hoping it moves. You'll see with these flow movements, we always try and keep moving from one to the other, or we keep a little bit of breath work at least. So we're still trying to breathe and help release and mobilize. And then you'll see in my mobility videos when we start using tools and other things, again, we're always about trying to move or mobilize rather than just trying to stretch. Although it looks like a stretch, we're definitely being active all the way through as we go here. You'll notice I haven't stopped moving the whole time. We're now going to rotate around to the left, so we turn this chest, turn this belly button, turn the chest away from that right leg, moving that right leg around, noodling around here. Really good for our rotation. Get some spinal rotations here, but really just trying to open up these hips and get these hips to free up. You guys are doing great. Just keep an eye on your breathing. Remember our breathing from the first few minutes. We were just trying to get some constant breath, so keep that up. And then turn and face this right leg now. So now I've turned, I'm giving this right leg a big hug. Trying to rotate round. Give this leg a big hug as I move in here. Great work. Well done for keeping up with me. Well done for sticking with me. A little bit of last bit here. Good work. Let's take that leg back. Let's spin back round and we can drop into a deep squat position. So it's going to feel quite strange now, but I just want you to feel like you've got a little bit more space in these hips than you normally would. So just rolling from heel to toe, dropping down in this low position. I feel like you can open these knees up a little bit. And then all we're going to do from here is with the hands on the ground, we're going to push both feet into the floor and lift ourselves up and then just drop back down. We lift ourselves up and back down, really trying to just get a nice stretch in these hips and then up here into the hamstrings and back down. A few more for me. Drive the feet in and back down. Last two, drive the feet back down, and last one, up and down. Good. Now drive the feet into the ground, leave the back rolled over, and we're going to slowly roll ourselves all the way up into a standing position. Roll the shoulders all the way back, round and together. Take a full deep breath in, full deep breath out, and just like that, guys, you've flown through this daily flow routine. Fantastic work. I'll see you guys tomorrow.